All right, everybody, welcome back to Ether Bandit's Garage. Today, the old Ford F100 is getting some Gear Star goodies. This finally came in the mail. I went and picked it up today. We're gonna rip into it. Should be a pretty stout little 4L60 to go behind that Chevrolet 350. All right, everybody, we're back. I got the cover off of it. I took the bag off the transmission. This thing is beautiful. And they gave us, I didn't realize all the stuff it would come with, which I knew we were getting the CompuShift electronics for a controller because this is all manual right now because it had turbo 350. So we needed a computer. I kind of thought it was coming with a dipstick tube, but I couldn't remember. 3 more quarts of oil, trans mount, and a trans cooler, which I think I'm gonna call them and see if I can run the transmission cooler inside of the radiator down here. Just because we already have a condenser for the vintage air in it. So that would make it a little bit harder to mount, but we'll just see what they say. Hopefully we can just use that one. It was very nicely packaged. I mean, this box is industrial. It's very thick plastic. And then I like their, I've seen little pieces of metal to hold transmissions on, but I've never seen a piece of board shaved like this. Which these staples are really gonna hurt one day. And this is nicer than that Turbo 350. Because in that Turbo 350, you had to put nuts behind the bolts on the torque converter, and these are threaded holes. And this is your grommet for the dipstick tube. It's all that good stuff. So we're probably get back to you whenever trying to fit this in the truck, which I don't have any footage of pulling the old one out. I did that a while ago. Couple things to come up is I have this little motor gonna be swapped in a tractor. I went to the machine shop this week and picked up the cylinder head for this little gem so we can get her back up and running again. But I think we're gonna be working on this for a little bit, trying to get it gone, because this is not mine and I'm kind of looking forward to getting the shop space back. But alrighty, we'll get back to you whenever we put the transmission in. Alrighty guys, so we're back. Shop's at a wreck right now. I was fixing a couple things on this before I got the transmission in. And right now it's sitting on my transmission jack, which that's an uphill battle because you can't set it on outside of the truck because it's so low. We're making the best of it though. I had to fix a couple wires. They got melted on the exhaust manifold. I routed them differently. They ran to the starter. After reading the instructions, the transmission cooler will have to be used. You cannot use the other one, or it will void the warranty. So we're gonna mount this on the AC condenser. As far as I understand, might just try to use these little plastic, I don't even know what you'd call them, because I did that for the fan on my green truck, or 65 C10, and that worked out pretty well. I got the shifter put in already because I figured it'd be easier to get to the bolts whenever there is not a transmission there. And so this thing is really cool with how this shifter works. It's a B&M Quicksilver shifter. So how it works is you have park, and you pull it, pick it up. You pick the transmission up. That's reverse. Pull it one more time, or two, and that is neutral. Or no, that's drive. That's drive. You click it forward once, that's neutral. Fourth, third, second, first. And you can't go any more that way. Second, third, fourth, neutral. But to get it into park, it to pick up and it can't, so you put it in drive, pick it up, slide it forward. It's pretty cool. You have to remove a little pin on the side of it to get it to be a 4-speed instead of a 3-speed. But I like it. I like it more than the old shifter that was in it. I still got to mount all this. This is really cool because it does have like a hole. It tells you can tell which gear it's in. Like, see, it's in park there. And there's a little light for it. There's a lot of cool stuff we got to do to this. But I just figured I'd give you all an update from what I've been working on. I was trying to get a time lapse of putting a transmission in, but y'all really don't want to see me sprawling around under here, getting angry about it. But it's don't lack much now. I did end up jacking a truck up pretty high so I could slide the transmission under, and I fought it onto the transmission jack. It was a pain. And then the shifter, the electronic shifter is pretty cool, because I opened it up and I was looking at the instructions. The wiring harness on this thing is really nice. It's nice. It comes with grommets. That's supposed to be water resistant, but they want you to mount it in the cab. And so once we mount it, run the wires. I'm putting a transmission in first so I can see how far where I can mount it at before I put it in and realize I don't have enough wires. I didn't realize it came with this, but the dipstick is a locking dipstick tube, which is awesome. Those are just a lot safer. But we'll get back to you probably once I get the transmission in. Alrighty, guys. So as you can tell, I did actually get the transmission in. It took a little bit. I have it in. Whenever you go from a turbo 350 to a 4L60, it is a little bit longer. 2 of the transmission bolts line up. The other 2 I'm gonna have to re-drill. But it's just hanging in there right now. I haven't bolted the torque converter on or anything yet. And I only have 4 bell housing bolts because I had to get some lock washers for them. But after looking in Gearstar's box, after I already had the transmission in, they sent new bolts and new lock washers. And so because I didn't have any, that led us to our next thing that we started working on to make this transmission work. It is a HGM CompuShift Sport standalone TCM for this transmission. We mounted it, getting some of the wires ran. I ran into an issue of I had to get an 1.5 inch hole saw for this. It was just a couple things. That's once again I've just had a pretty busy weekend. I've got a lot done. I did get the shifter mounted, which, I mean, it's pretty cool. This is park in it, and you pull it up, reverse, drive, neutral, drive, third, second, first. And then it won't let you go back anymore, and then you go second, third, fourth, neutral. But to go into park, you have to go back to fourth. You pick it up all the way forward. It's a pretty neat little shifter. It's a B&M Quicksilver shifter. I think once we get it all going, it'll be a pretty nifty little thing to have. And I also did a little bit of reading, and we're gonna have to use this transmission oil cooler. It'll void the warranty from Gearstar if we use the one inside the radiator. So, probably gonna have to take this grill off again, and then we're gonna mount it. We're honestly just gonna mount it to the condenser. It'll be fine. I have a fan mounted on my 65 C10 radiator, and I've put 4,000 miles on it and it has yet to give me an issue. So yes, sir. Well, I just didn't really get as much done as I was hoping to this weekend, but I figured I'd go ahead and I wanted to put these videos up. We'll tune in next time and we'll see if we can't get a transmission. And oh, the other issue that I ran into with this thing kind of killed it is this drive shaft is 1.5 inches too long. I was hoping that because we had a turbo 350 and the engine was moved up 2 inches by somebody else, that this would fit, because it was too short for that. It was way too short, because you could see that seal was riding right here before. This is where it rode years ago. Wish I just wire wheeled this whenever I stuck it in there, see if it fit. But I guess I only moved it forward about 1 inch. And so we got to cut off a little bit of the drive shaft. That's no big deal. I'll hopefully get that taken care of here pretty soon. But I guess I'll have to catch y'all next time so y'all don't have too much fun.